They spend all their money.
Yeah, they have a choice. Hey, we're live, Nathan. I love when you do this. I love when you do this. It's like bam, right into the thick of it.
Cool. It's only been 6 minutes since showtime.
Evan, you got to be ready. The Big Brother fan or the live cams, you got to be ready.
You're right. This is practice for Big Brother. Thank you very much, Nathan. I'll keep this in mind. I'll give you a shout out when I go in the air.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to it is My Cup of Tea, episode number 18. Yeah, you got a little hint of our leading topic for today, but I am super excited to be discussing so many things in the realm of film. Joined once again by Evan.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, especially a busy day. A lot of new news came out today, specifically about Wonder Woman 1984 heading to HBOMAX. We'll give our hot takes on that. We also got some cool news about as Guardians of the Galaxy, potentially, what they're going to do with Black Panther 2, and some other new movie stuff. It's been a crazy week in movies, so can't wait to talk about it. Yeah.
Did we lose Nathan?
No, you didn't. God. All right. Also joining us,
He's back. Yeah. To echo all that, I'm excited to give my hot takes on the Wonder Woman stuff. I love distribution news and all these different, stuff to talk about. With, is it gonna go theatrical? Oh, is this person gonna get money? Is this gonna get money? I love to talk about that stuff. Yeah, but also some kind of Shark Boy and Lavagirl news, and I guess it's coming out January 1st. Excited to talk about that. And, some other superhero stuff that I feel like we've known for a while, but for some reason it's just popping up in the conversation again. But yeah, excited to talk about it.
All right, so on that note, so it's just officially confirmed that Wonder Woman will be debuting in theaters this Christmas still, while simultaneously debuting on HBO Max with no extra fees to those already subscribed to the streaming service.
Yes, kind of a big, dig against Disney Plus and what they did with the premium VOD and Mulan, which apparently
even
worked
though
so well for them.
They're already debuting Soul the same way.
I don't think so. I think Soul is free.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying.
Same.
Oh yeah. HBO Max is going to be following what Soul is. But I'm very curious. We can talk about this later. Like, is Disney Plus going to move forward with like maybe Black Widow? I don't think they are. I think that's a dumb idea. But I also think it's a kind of a dumb idea for Wonder Woman also to play on HBO Max Christmas Day while going in theaters as well, rather than pushing it back. Nathan's been talking about this for the longest time. Why don't you take a release date and just move it over a year? And that would just solve everything.
Why don't we just take Bikini Bottom and move it somewhere else?
Yeah.
Patrick has been saying it for the longest time, guys. And I think that's the right play here. I think in my ideal scenario, Wonder Woman 1984 goes to that June 4th date, which is currently occupied by Conjuring 3. I forget the long title that it has. Pretty stupid. Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. Horrible title. I love you.
Yeah, it's a bad title.
I love the director, but come on. But yeah, and then move the Conjuring to like September, October, or something like that, where it's like horror movies are meant to be. Because I think Wonder Woman going to HBO Max is a big, everybody is saying it's a big win for streaming. Streaming is the future, Evan. Streaming is the future, Evan. Come on. And I get that, especially during the COVID era, streaming is very important. But I don't think you're kind of making a sacrifice. In the Queen's Gambit terms, you're sacrificing your queen in order to save like the game or whatever. I think you're sacrificing Wonder Woman and the potential that it has theatrically just to maybe support HBO Max, which isn't even available in a lot of other countries or Roku TVs. So I'm like, yeah.
So I think it's like it's kind of a fallacy with the HBO stuff, because every like expert that I've seen has like tweeted about it so far has been like, oh, this is obviously a big play for HBO Max because they didn't convert a lot of people from HBO natively, which has like over 30 million subscribers, to which HBO Max only has, I believe, like 6 or 7 million exclusive subscribers or something.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
I mean, together, a lot of the graphs show like together that, obviously HBO has like 40 million or whatever combined, but I guess they didn't pull a lot of people exclusively from HBO Max. And it's a bummer because HBO Max has a lot of I would say, the best content in terms of it has probably the best content. It has stuff that's like before, the streaming era. It has like the best backlog, I would say, of stuff. I mean,
Easily.
by far. But they don't really advertise that to the extent that they did. And like Evan just said, it's there's some issues. It's not on PlayStation 5. I don't know if it's on Xbox yet. It's not on Roku. They don't have 4K support. So a lot of and it's not in any other countries besides the United States right now. So it's a big kind of a pressure cooker right now, because you wonder if AT&T is sitting there and say, hey, we need to bump up HBO Max because we kind of feel like we butchered the launch. Like, hey, let's drop the biggest movie ever for streaming so far on HBO Max. And of course that only affects the United States market right now, but also it's just kind of a bummer because I think a lot of people interpret it as, oh, theaters are done. It's like, at the same time, we're seeing all these theaters starting to make deals with Universal and realizing that they're going to be changing. And in a post-vaccine world, I think the standard thing is if a movie makes over $50 million opening weekend, it's going to continue to play in theaters for an extended period of time like normal. Or the studios can adjust and say, hey, we're kind of getting cannibalized by our own competition right now. Let's give consumers a choice to buy out on rental, and then theaters are pretty much future-proofing those deals, hopefully, to get a cut of that, so they can continue to support the biggest movies, and then the middle movies that will probably be more prone to going on the streaming after 17 days. It's just all interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later in terms of the new Cinemark deal, but I think even more so with the whole news of the Cinemark deal and the Universal deal, I think even more so, theaters are going to be fine. With the new deals that are going on, because basically it's what's been going on, this shortening of the theatrical window, which I don't think is too bad, as we'll go into later with what movies have always been making in those first 17, those first 31 days, which makes like 90% of the box office for those movies.
Right. And that's been going on for a decade.
Exactly.
That's been going on for so long. I think I tweeted this out yesterday. I feel like a lot of people are misinterpreting the pandemic as causing all of these effects. I say it's only accelerated it. All these things have been happening and were probably inevitable at a shift in one point in time. And we're going to need to happen regardless, because I don't think the theaters are in the business of movies anymore. They have to be in the experience. They have to sell an experience. They have to sell a night out. It's not about obviously for hardcore film fans like us, but that percentage of people is shrinking. And, people are only going to the movies 3 or 4 times a year, a lot of times only for Marvel movies. And so theaters have to adapt of like, hey, we're an experience now, and you're going to come out where you have the nice seats, and they have to create a nice experience. And so I just think that it's just kind of naive to only be like, okay, because this is happening, Black Widow's gonna go, everything's gonna go. It's like, look at the 2021 calendar, because there's 50 blockbusters that are gonna be dependent on various theatrical releases and leveraging that. So it's just gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So many 2021. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to see all this different stuff. On the one hand, I'm looking at this potential, or not official, debut for HBO Max, and I'm thinking, ooh, content for my channel, I can watch it. But at the same time, I'm also like, man, it's just not as safe to go out to the theater. I already canceled my A-list, and they said I can't renew it for like 6 months. So. Oh yeah,
another quick news bite from AMC sent out an email today for those that I already renewed my A-list, because I've been going, just enough to make it viable for me month to month, but only going like 2 or 3 times a month. But they announced today that they moved the optional date back to buy back into it till March. So that was an indicator probably that the decision was already made earlier today, that the AMC is saying, hey, you don't have to renew till March, or you can make your decision in March if you want to stay or not with your A-list subscription. So I think that's why it was Wonder Woman kind of compromised in this spot, is because one, they spent all of their ad money in everything for a marketing run like 4 separate times over, and we've seen with, like, for example, Bond 25. A lot of these movies that are just sitting on the shelf are losing money because of, like, how they're financed and how specific deals that are in play. And I'm curious to see, like, how does this influence, because, like, big movies like Dunkirk, like, Nolan's going to get, like, a percentage of the box office. Patty Jenkins, I'm sure, and Gal Gadot had deals built in of, like, hey, you're going to get a certain percentage. A lot of that is built into the box office. It's like, there's no metric now for, like, okay, it's going to get a certain amount of views on HBOMAX, so Patty Jenkins is going to get X amount of money and Gal Gadot's going to get X amount of money. It's interesting, and I think it just, like Evan was saying, it's not indicative of, like, oh, this giant shift yet. It's going to change things, but I think we're seeing it already change, and not from, like, just this news alone.
Yeah. I think the big thing here that I think detractors of what I'm saying and what you guys are saying as well is that, like, the increase in COVID cases this week and the past couple of weeks, it's getting
through December,
bigger,
honestly.
Through December, it's getting bigger and bigger. And although there are signs of vaccines coming in mid 2021, hopefully at the very earliest in the springtime 2021, when those things kept on coming, we're like, okay, what's going to happen next with Wonder Woman? And now we know what's going to happen. So I think detractors of what I'm saying are going to say, like, well, it's unsafe for people to go to the theater, so I'm very happy that Wonder Woman's going to HBO Max, which I think is very fair. Like, I'm crazy. I'm probably going to go to the theaters if I'm able to on Christmas Day, just because it's like a tradition. Like, my dad, my brother, and I always go to the theaters on Christmas Day to see something at least. Even though I do have HBO Max, I could pop it up Christmas morning and watch it if I really want to. I just like seeing this in theaters. And speaking, like, artistically, from Patty Jenkins' standpoint, like, I feel so bad because so many directors like Patty Jenkins, she filmed a lot of scenes of Wonder Woman in IMAX. Like, she used IMAX cameras for a lot of the scenes of this movie. They delayed this from November 2019, so I wouldn't have minded having to wait another couple of months to that potential June date for Wonder Woman as well. So that's kind of disappointing. And again, Wonder Woman, what did Wonder Woman open up to in 2017? It was like 103 million, 104 million opening weekend.
The biggest thing was his legs.
And the legs were huge.
All the way up to 400 million by the end of the summer, which was crazy.
And I think it could have replicated that. I don't think it would have made it over 400 again, but it definitely made, probably in an ideal scenario, at least over 300 domestically. And I think just opening weekend from a Wonder Woman day, even with the COVID era next year, I think it would have made more business sense. They probably would have gained more money releasing this in theaters. I don't think they're going to make, because they keep saying, oh, Evan, it's a business decision. That's why they're putting it on HBO Max. It's all business. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're going to gain, like, what, 5 million subscribers, if that, like, tentatively. I just don't know if the increase in subscribers is going to account for the potential loss that they're gaining or losing by not putting this out in theaters. I don't know if that's going to.
They have no idea of, like, what the churn will be. It's like, no, you don't know how many people are going to cancel after, how many people are going to cancel their 14-day trial. It's like, hey, I just wanted to watch Wonder Woman, I'm out. Like, they don't know.
That's the thing.
They don't have anything else on the horizon. This is the only thing for that.
Speaking of the horizon, what did we just get this week? What did we just get yesterday? Justice League Snyder Cut trailer in black and white.
You're right.
And so I'm wondering, are they going to plan a firm release date for Zack Snyder's Justice League sooner rather than later to get people to stick with this Wonder Woman HBO Max sign up that they're potentially going to get on Christmas Day? Because then that can incentivize people.
I think they announced it somewhere in April. They didn't give us
somewhere
a specific date. But
I have April in my head, but I don't know if that was, like, confirmed or not.
I'm pretty sure that was on the poster. I'll look it up, but yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah. Because I think that would be nice. Like, say, like, okay, Wonder Woman, HBO Max, boom. Now stay with us till April because we have the Justice League Snyder Cut, which a lot of people are going to sign up for HBO Max for. So that's. I
don't think any of this matters if they can't get international HBO Max off the ground and Roku deals, PlayStation deal, get it all ironed out. It won't matter because the growth in subscribers will be only specific to one region, and you won't know like truly what it would be. Like, I don't know.
You're completely correct. I'm stunned. I woke up. I didn't wake up. I opened up my HBO Max or my PS5 box, downloading everything, and then 2 apps have a little error message next to it, and I'm like, what? What is that? And then CBS All Access and HBO Max aren't on a PS5. For what reason?
Oh my God.
I have to boot up my PS4. I still love you, PS4. You're still great. I have to boot up my old PS4 just to watch some HBO Max, just to watch my Hitchcock. I'm like, come on. Come on.
It is kind of annoying because, especially like my PS4 sounds like a dinosaur sometimes. I don't know about your guys' PS4. Like,
mine was a train wreck.
and if you're watching you're watching an HD movie, sometimes it goes off and you're like, this was not part of the sound design. I don't know what's going on here. So it's a problem.
I mean, do you watch a lot of your movies with headphones on, like when you're watching these stuff?
No, I usually watch with because I have a speaker system on my main TV set up. But of course, that's sometimes a battle too because I'm like switching audio modes and like trying to figure out like it's working on the TV speakers, but then it's not synced with the other speakers. So it's a whole process.
Yeah. All I hear is money. You all have money. Okay. That's all I hear.
I might order. I'm thinking like what Christmas stuff already because my parents are asking me, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, I might order a bigger system, a bigger TV, and I definitely need a bigger TV stand.
You know what you should get is just get one of those. I've had good experiences, like friends getting those sound bars that just go right in the front, and it's nice and thin, and it sits right below your TV, and it gets you pretty good bass and sound like right directly at you, especially if you're like watching movies pretty close to your TV or. Wherever you sit, it's pretty nice.
I can't wait to watch Mission Impossible with the new sound bar. Okay.
Oh my guys! Sidebar: I watched Fallout in 4K last night, and I totally forgot that both the skydiving sequence and the whole third act helicopter thing is all expanded IMAX. And I didn't know it was going to be on the Blu-ray like that. And it came up and I'm like, oh my God, it's so good.
I can't tell you how happy I was to see that.
That's incredible.
That blew my mind. I was like, they kept it. I was amazed. Now, if Marvel could do the same, that'd be awesome. But yeah.
I'm surprised that they haven't.
I think they're only in the 3D Blu-rays is where you can find them. That's it. On like an open mat.
Because didn't they drop the entire like collection? It's like, why would you not like? Even if it was just exclusive to that collection, it's like you should have dropped it.
Especially when Infinity War and Endgame are both shot in their entireties that way.
Right, with the big format. Back on Iron Man cameras, you know.
Snyder Cut stuff. I actually cannot find the evidence of April, even though I swear I saw it, but I guess not. Google.
I think April was definitely coming sooner or later.
Google is currently listing it as September 5th, 2021, but that's not really confirmed.
You know what? I bet if you dive into Snyder's Vero comments, someone probably said it and he replied. Or like, oh, probably April or something.
I heard early 2021 when this whole Snyder Cut thing came about, and for then I always just assumed April. I don't know why. I think, yeah. But just looking at the release calendar like we do every week on this show, I just feel like Wonder Woman could have come in June 4th or maybe even earlier. February is pretty barren. March is pretty barren, early March at least, until like the new Disney films start coming out there. So I think there was a room for Wonder Woman to make money theatrically, but I know the detractors are always going to say, and fairly enough, that COVID is still a big issue and Wonder Woman wouldn't have made a big impact either way. So HBO Max is the right way to go. But then we go to HBO Max, and HBO Max has its own issues garnering subscribers, and it's a whole big, it's a risk. Either way you do it. So I'm very curious now that they planted the flag basically on HBO Max on Christmas Day. What's going to happen? And lastly, there's tons of movies coming on HBO Max, or not HBO Max, coming on Christmas Day in general with Soul. That's going to be a big hit. So
we got Soul, we got Wonder Woman 84, we got Promising Young Woman for the indie scene. We got
The Tom Hanks movie. What's it
Oh
called?
yeah,
News of the World.
News of the World. I saw that trailer yesterday. Actually, it looks pretty good.
Doesn't it look pretty good?
Yeah,
pretty good.
it looks like a Tom Hanks movie. I'm
It
like, I'm
does.
in. Yeah. Like,
Oh, I like those.
what was I gonna say? Like,
Also, Midnight Sky with George Clooney and
yes, which that trailer looks great.
the girl from Rogue One. Always forget her name.
Felicity Jones.
Felicity
and,
Jones,
who else is in that? There's another prominent person in that. I can't remember. Anyways.
And One Night in Miami.
Hey, a Wonder Woman update.
What?
Everyone's silent. Cool. All right. So yeah, somebody is saying that Wonder Woman 1984 will be available on HBO Max for a month. Then the film will leave the service and continue to play in theaters. After that, the film will become available for purchase via video on demand, etc.
Makes sense.
Wait, so HBO Max for just a month, and then it's going to leave HBO Max and it's going to become PVOD.
Well, it's going to continue its theater run and then
go to standard. Interesting. But at that point, I don't think it's going to be bringing in money really at theaters.
So is that good for HBO Max or bad? Did they just get it for a month and then it's out?
Bad because it dives into the fact that we were worried about of like people retracting. It's like you're gonna go to the movies going. Like I don't know.
So that's weird. I mean, I do like that they're going to keep it in theaters still. And then you're saying it's just going to become a regular streaming thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the whole thing is interesting. Hey, I didn't really get to talk about this conversation much, but it's all interesting in like the viewpoint that like on HBO Max you can, with no paid subscription, you can watch it as many times over as you want for like however the base cost of a month is for HBO Max versus a ticket cost.
15.
I do think it's $15 for HBO Max.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how are you doing this?
I'm broke. I'm dying inside.
Okay. Well, I also feel bad for like specifically the people who don't have access to HBO Max, so their only source would be the theater. It sucks from the standpoint of pirates who can like easily just take the footage instantly, and it makes spoilers even more like fast spreading across online. Not only like fast spreading, but it's not just like a leaked image. You're getting a full HD like screenshot of anything.
There's gonna be spoilers day one though, because the UK date is December 16th. So there's already gonna be
what?
That's a lot.
Yeah. I know.
Wait. Break this down for me. So just the UK is getting this December 16th? Or
at
what?
least the UK. There probably is some other markets that are prior to that December 25th.
On HBO Max or theaters?
Theaters, because remember,
is it London lockdown right now?
Yes, but I think it's going to be tentatively over by then.
Wow.
So yeah, UK at least.
Do this.
Yeah, UK doesn't have HBO Max, so their tentative day one date for dropping in theaters is December 16th, which I had to look. I just saw a Variety article on that. I didn't see any other markets listed for this, so there could be all over the place like it normally is. But for big superhero movies, they've been trying to do global day one dates because of spoilers, but I guess it's just gonna work out like this. And so I guess that's another hitch in the pirate / spoiler / just kind of slightly annoying news.
I should be used to this because Marvel does this with every one of their Marvel movies. They release a week earlier internationally these days.
Mm-hmm.
But dang, that kind of sucks. But yeah, the US gets a lot of perks. The UK and them should get some perks too, I guess. But looks like I have to mute Wonder Woman hashtags for a whole week. That's fun.
Yeah.
Even though I guess there wouldn't be that much to spoil. I mean, it's Wonder Woman 1984. She's not going to die. Chris Pratt or Chris Pine is probably going to
say that about
go away.
You don't know.
You're right. I know, but I'm just
you don't know the setup of Cheetah. You don't know other things.
She just
wants her to be like New Gods or something. You don't know. Something. You never know. You really never know.
You're right. What were you saying, Carson?
Well, I was just saying I think it's certainly at least a better intentioned and handled release than Tenet. I feel like Tenet was just a sail into the wind. Granted, July was a much different, September feels like years ago, but it was a much different, a different area of things happening. But Yeah, it's interesting too. I was so excited for this movie, but I feel like I've just become numb to the Black Widow trailer.
Yes.
Everything else in that kind of like it's been on the shelf for like 2 years now, and I'm just kind of
Dude,
I don't know what to think anymore.
it's crazy, right? I'm feeling the same way, and I'm excited for Bond, but even Bond, I'm like, I've seen this movie already. I feel
I
like
know,
I
it's
have,
crazy.
but I haven't even seen like 2 hours of it. We just seen a 2-minute trailer. But for Bond, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, I'm like, I'm so tired. But then there's like a Quiet Place, and I'm like, I still can't wait to freaking see that movie.
I know. Well, it's funny because I saw the Black Widow trailer before Freaky the other night. I'm like, oh my god, again. And it's just like, and then they're just like, oh, you got to settle down for when the interest rates go down. And it's like, and I'm like, and I just am like reading it in my head. I'm like, I've seen it, and then like the posture joke of like, oh, sit up, Natasha.
I'm so tired.
I know.
I need that
can't do
visual
it anymore,
score. I
guys.
don't need that. I don't need the trailer score anymore, dude.
I'm
so
going
tired.
crazy, and I don't know what to do.
And I remember loving that new Wonder Woman trailer, but like if I hear that theme song one more time, I'm like, oh my god.
Black Widow trailer.
What did you do, Barbara? What did you do?
Oh,
Drum,
okay.
boom, boom. I'm like, oh my god.
I have not watched it as much as you guys. Then that's funny.
I've seen it a lot. And her jumping in the freaking trucks in the middle. I'm like, okay.
Okay, the truck shot. I have seen so.
I mean, I'm starting to think like, is that a good shot now? Like, I liked it at first, and I'm like, I don't know, that's a good shot, but we'll see.
Oh no! Not meant to.
But I hope to be surprised and excited on December 25th, regardless.
Real quick, what are you guys watching first, Soul or Wonder Woman?
Whatever Evan's mom buys me first.
Wow, thank you very much.
I'm gonna say Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman purely because of like that will be like the big like. I think that will be discussed first.
Yeah.
For sure.
Purely just because it's Wonder Woman, and I think Soul will be like all the film people will get into Soul and be like, oh my god, this should have been played in theaters, and this is a crime. And then I'm just because I don't want to be sad, but I will be sad after I watch Soul.
You're going to get footage of me crying to both of them. So.
You're gonna cry in Wonder Woman 1984.
You don't know what'll happen.
What?
You don't know.
Barbara, the best anti-hero coming up. The new Ben Solo.
Yeah.
Honestly, Steve leaving again. I don't know.
That's
Steve in parachute pants. You never know.
I gotta know. I probably will be emotional by the reason why Wonder Woman is still very upset about Steve in Justice League.
Oh my gosh.
Justice League. I don't even remember.
Her one true love.
Yeah.
Just because of that, I'm gonna send Carson like a lot of Soul spoilers right when he wakes up on Christmas Day. Like, do you see the ending of Soul?
Oh my gosh!
Honestly, just tease him by sending him just smiling photos of Jamie Foxx.
He made it back to his body. No way!
But at what cost? Bing bong. All right.
No! How dare you bring up Inside Out
deep.
right now?
That was deep.
It was really deep.
I still have Soul like as a potential Best Picture winner. Because I'm looking at a lot of these Best Picture up and comers and nominees, and I'm like, I'm thinking Soul might still be the best here, even though I haven't seen the list.
I remember seeing the second trailer that came out for Soul. Like I think it was playing in front of I think it played in front of The Empire Strikes Back release I went to, which was cool. And it was playing, and I was just like watching. I was like so engrossed, and then I'm watching like normally, but I'm just like, the hell?
That's Pixar for you.
It's just a trailer, damn it. All right. But yeah, that is I think we're good. That's a solid half hour on Wonder Woman.
Crazy. Yeah, what's next?
Boom. Back crossing universes going to Marvel for I guess a couple of different points. Kick off. This news like you hear it, it's just like, oh, but you're also like, well, yeah, because it turns out looks like Chris Pratt will be joining the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder. Most likely playing Star-Lord. Very 100% likely.
He's just visiting Chris.
Yeah, no, he's like a whole new role. Confused so many people. But yeah, this makes sense. This actually like a news like came like right after as well that it also looked like Vin Diesel was also.
I was just going to mention. I'm like, people are mentioning it, but Vin Diesel is going to be on set as well. So
I think it's pretty like suffice to say, the movie is most likely going to kick right off with Thor and the Guardians. Probably, I can imagine like it won't just be like a quick like, it's annoying, get out of here, it gets thrown into space. I think you'll probably like see Thor on a mission with the Guardians, and it probably won't run as smoothly, or maybe it will, and he just like starts on his own path again.
Yeah,
and then that'll.
I'm thinking first 15 to 20 minutes will be a Guardian centric
15
thing.
to 20.
Yeah,
I say a solid 15. Maybe not 20,
15?
15,
Five.
sure.
5 minutes at most.
All right.
10 and a half.
It's gonna be a little
Done.
knowing Taika the way he paces his movies. I'm thinking 5 minutes just to establish continuity. The rest of it is going to be focused on Jane Foster, Thor.
I'm gonna open Thor Ragnarok on Disney Plus. I'm gonna see how long the hell scene took place. The opening.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
like
because
2
that
minutes.
was a long opening.
It's like 2-3 minutes.
He's swinging
not
down
that
there
long.
talking to that
2 or 3
thing
minutes.
for what?
Watch.
Starter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah.
2 or 3
I've
minutes.
only seen the movie once.
Wow, I like that movie.
Rewatch, Carson.
Rewatch it, Carson. Jeez,
I didn't like
Rewatch
it.
things.
you're one of those people. But anyways,
Oh yeah, I forgot you weren't a fan.
I know. Yeah,
That's so funny. Carson's like, oh, it took so long, and Evan's like, it was like 2 or 3 minutes.
it's easily 2 or 3 minutes. But anyways, it's so funny because
like to the title itself, right?
yeah, it's so funny because originally we were supposed to get Guardians May 2020, and Thor was supposed to come out a year later, and we all thought, okay, Thor is going to be the Asgardian of the galaxy. Thor is probably going to leave at the beginning of Guardians, but now because of COVID, Marvel has to change up the story a little bit. So now with Thor coming first, you're going to have the Guardians leaving Thor's story first. And Thor might not even show up at the beginning of Guardians 3 now, but he still might. You never know.
At this rate, I don't think so.
At this rate, I don't think so either, even though I think Vin Diesel might have teased like that Thor might be in the Guardian script. But I don't know.
Honestly,
I think
cool. It would
yeah.
be cool if like the opening, if like for both films was like the same scene from different points of view that crossed to different paths.
Oh,
I can see that. Yeah,
I like that. So
which
like
could be in addition to just change up that continuity that we're saying is kind of flip flopped. I could see that totally working out.
Honestly, if James Gunn just like you heard James Gunn's like flying down on set to like get shots from like different points of view on the same acting. That would be so cool.
that would be really cool. I could see that happening where it's like Thor says goodbye to the Guardians, then you see what Thor's arc is afterwards. Then in Guardians, Guardians leaving. It's like, okay, you see what Guardians did right after that scene. I like that idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And even if they like didn't like do it on the same day, they pulled that off amazingly in Endgame for their different points of view.
True. Yeah.
So okay, the opening of Ragnarok from the official Marvel logo to the title is a little under 9 minutes.
9 minutes.
I knew it.
That's not
That
a long
is
time.
long.
Carson. When you're having a good time, it's not long.
9 minutes for the whole house scene. 9 minutes.
Yeah, from the Marvel logo to the title of Thor when the dragon head is in the Bifrost. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Either way, I like Thor Ragnarok a lot. I think it's a very fun movie. I love the shake weight scene. Just kidding.
I literally was like going through it and I just see.
I do like when he chucks the I don't know, the ball at the window and then it comes back and hits him.
It's amazing. That's so good. That's peak comedy.
Yes, I feel like we've known that Pratt's going to show up or vice versa of this happening.
I just never think about it because all I think about is like I'm excited to see Queen Valkyrie. I'm excited to see Jane Foster as Thor. That's your primary things you're focused on.
Right. Loki. And so, I think I'm gonna say 9 minutes and under. That's my new guesstimate.
You think Loki's in it?
You don't think Loki's gonna be in Thor 4?
No, he's dead.
The new Loki
wait,
from the TV show.
It's a different timeline.
But that's the new Loki of the continuity. He's going to show up in Thor.
In a new continuity. That Loki we know hasn't progressed beyond Avengers.
You're right. You're completely right. But he'll still be in Thor 4 some way, somehow.
Then that's weird.
You're going to have a different Gamora. Like, come on, you can have a different Loki too.
Yeah, but
what would the years even be though? Wait, you're saying he hasn't progressed past Avengers, but obviously
Loki never came back to the timeline of our present for Endgame.
The OG
Gamora
Loki
did.
is dead.
Right, but there's still Loki though, right?
There's still a Loki
In
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe somewhere.
In the end game where Shield never gets the Tesseract, and
Yeah. But I mean, I just think they're not going to keep Loki secluded into a Disney Plus TV show for the rest of his life. He's going to be in Thor some way, somehow.
he's time hopping, dude. He can go wherever he wants.
Yeah,
he can
right.
go wherever he wants. Equals, he can go to freaking Thor 4.
You know, there's some cool. Actually, there is some cool like Loki news I'd love to discuss too. Like they're recently like reporting that a version of Loki to be played by Richard E. Grant joining the cast, and like that playing with other things of like because there are also like rumors of a female Loki, which all actually stems to this comic book thing of like a council of Lokis, which is basically like a version of him talking to himself. I basically assume, but
That sounds awful.
that sounds great. Shut up, you shut up. It sounds fun.
It's one of the things that sounds weird, but it could be very cool in execution. So,
Richard E. Grant is Loki. Come on.
I mean, I was excited to see Richard E. Grant, but I thought he'd be like a president of the Time Variance Authority or some other villain or something.
Maybe he's a Skrull and he's just talking to Loki.
Everyone's a scroll.
I hate that. I'm so happy they didn't do the whole Scroll War, whatever it's called.
Not yet, as Nathan would probably say.
Secret invasion.
Get that out of there.
No, come on. Okay, down the road. That could be. Well, no, because they're not villainous right now, so I don't need it.
That's true. Yeah.
What I do need is I need a scroll to be Peter in court with Matt Murdock while real Peter is Spider-Man swinging around to clear his name. That's what I need.
That'd be funny.
That would be the easy out.
So Thor 4, yeah. No, there's no Loki in it.
I mean,
So
should we
maybe,
place early bets on this? Carson, come on.
I will place a bet of there being mentioned. Maybe you see imagery or a flashback or a photograph. You will
We've been
not
talking.
get present.
We've been
live
talking about
look.
how all these Disney Plus shows lead into one another with the movies. You have Scarlet Witch and Vision leading Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel with the Miss Marvel TV show, etc. Moon Knight, Blade, whatever. Loki is going to lead into Thor: Love and Thunder.
You
Not
think Thor: Love
directly.
and Thunder is going to deal with time variance?
Yeah, not directly, but in terms of like character, Loki from that TV show will make an appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder. Bet on it.
I think a scene. I'm gonna say a scene because it's
Probably
Marvel.
probably just seeing you're right, but he's going to be in this.
Okay,
And
but if
everyone
it's
in the
a scene-
theater will be sitting
if it-
there and we'll all go, Loki.
All right, but if it's a scene, is it a scene where he's like there physically, or is it going to be like a flashback? What do you think?
Thor is going to be crying and just show up out of nowhere.
If it's a flashback, I wouldn't count it. But if it's the other one where it's just like a normal scene with the new Loki, then I win. Yes.
This feels like the weight equivalent of like, yes, Captain America is in Thor 2, even though it's just Loki impersonating.
Not that. Yeah, that doesn't count.
Does that count on Chris Evans's contract of the multi-picture? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I never gave too much thought to it. I just thought it was like just going to happen.
I've never assumed that after Infinity War and Endgame. I just like it's a new timeline. Cool.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean,
I feel like you have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hopes is what you got Evan, with your.
I mean, it's not that reaching though. It's Loki. Like,
Yeah, this isn't like Agent Coulson appearing back.
yeah,
in
it's not Coulson.
movies.
Like, I hope the opening scene is Loki. I hope he shows up on the
funny.
Guardians mission just to mess with you.
How? It doesn't make sense.
I love how Nathan's the one that says like, "Oh,
I don't like how much in Marvel universes happened? We can sit here and talk about all the time travel
Yeah,
stuff.
but I can
in Endgame
reasonably explain all that.
wow.
Reasonably.
I love how you catch yourself. You're like, wait.
My brain is reasonable, but like no, when you already have a Loki that has not progressed beyond 2012, I don't believe any of that.
Okay, but just how can he not progress past 2012 just because that one left the timeline? Isn't there still going to be one that's lived past that year?
not within the continuity of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, and like what Nathan is saying is like the Loki that we know, where he had an arc after the Avengers, is going to be completely gone. This Loki's going to be all evil or whatever. But this Loki's going to have an arc in his TV show. He's not going to be straight up evil. He's going to go through different time periods. He's probably going to do have some I don't know, some heart or whatever.
Branch reality.
I don't know.
Ancient One said so.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I give up. Just give it to me the show and let it happen.
we'll see what happens.
Let
We'll
it
see
not
what
happen.
happens. I'm right.
When's it coming out? In 2 years? Yeah, okay, we'll place bets now. Jeez.
Exactly.
I mean, look, if I see a report like Tom Hiddleston spotted on set,
I can't wait for that day.
then there is still a chance where I'm like, it's a flashback.
They didn't do a lot of flashbacks.
I hope he's wearing an entirely new outfit and he's flicking off the paparazzi, so we never get to see.
It's gonna be the scene. It's gonna be the scene where Thor told the story about him turning into a snake and stabbing him. That's it.
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
Which will be amusing. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like I would be happy. Just like, don't get me wrong. I just don't physically see it happening with continuity.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're just wrong. It's okay.
Okay. So next topic.
Well, we have another Marvel topic. Depressingly so, with Black Panther 2. One of the VPs at Marvel, I forget the name. Let me get it. I have the site pulled up here.
Once again, proving Grace Randolph wrong.
I don't even know what did she.
This was her
day.
Because that was her like scoop. Is like she was like, oh, I'm hearing a digital Chadwick.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious. But yeah. Executive Marvel producer Victoria Alonso confirmed in an interview that the 2022 sequel will not use a double digital for Chadwick Boseman. She said, "There's only one Chadwick, and he is not with us." But yeah,
yeah.
And then I think what else did she say? Oh, there's another comment where she said like the future of Marvel movies are still going to be in the cinema. Just confirming that as well.
Now, in this like breaking down of this news, is that still to say that Black Panther 2 is still like set to be a production?
I was going to ask you the same thing because I think she was talking about. I don't know if it was in that interview. I don't know if it's. I said there's. Yeah, they say that they're thinking about the story and where they're going right now. So I don't know if production's still set to start soon. I think. In an ideal world, an ideal scenario, Black Panther would start to film early next year. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. I don't
gotta rewrite the entire script now. Like, there's no.
Yeah, I don't think this movie's coming in general.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of ideas how it can.
If like you have Shuri become whatever the new Black Panther, do you still call it Black Panther 2? Right?
Yeah.
Like just
I think
it's like it's a mantle. It's not a like his father was Black Panther. It's not.
Yeah.
True.
What I would ideally do. I have no idea if they would even. And I'm not saying they should like do a thing like they did with Carrie, to use unused footage. But I think you don't even necessarily have to use anything at all. Like what I would do is I don't want like him to be dead in universe at all either. Like same thing I had with Rise of Skywalker. I didn't want Leia to be dead by the end, but she was anyway. What I would prefer you do is like have like the whole King mantle be such a large responsibility that like he has to like put more time in and just say like that's what he's focused on. But we still need a Black Panther, and Shuri could step up because she's so tech savvy and she is willing to step up for the fight.
Interesting. So you're going down the route that he's still alive in the universe.
Yeah, I think it would be like a lot more respectful and like hopeful in that regard. Even though like you told like a great story with him, I think it would be really sucky to have like that tremendous like first portal shot of him returning to life in Endgame and then like he's out again. I don't think that's
he's actually
awesome.
Right. It's so hard. I
do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about Wakanda specifically of like, because I guess if you're saying he's gonna be alive in universe, which I think is the right decision, by the way. And he's doing King's like would he be just in Wakanda like just doing stuff, or would you have him? Would you have like a he's off plant or he's off country doing something or I don't know.
For a time they did the same thing with Gwyneth Paltrow and Natalie Portman. Like they had that addressed in like the second Avengers. Like they're like busy doing stuff. It's just like even though they're just like. Not wanting to actually be in said movies, like they still like had like that's why I was like so shocked when I saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. I was like, oh my god, Gwyneth Paltrow's back. I didn't think this would ever happen. Like,
yeah, she didn't know either.
No, yeah, literally, she did. She was like, I thought we were making a what Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, Gwen, I love you, but it's so.
What's in the box?
Best movie of all time.
Isn't that horrible that I know that? Isn't that horrible?
Yeah,
That is terrible.
that is
And
pretty
now our
terrible.
audience knows that as well. But yeah, I go back and forth on this every day. I don't know what the right decision is to kill off Black Panther or keep him alive and just write him out. I would hate to be in their shoes right now. I keep telling people I wouldn't want a Black Panther 2 in general. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I think Chadwick would love for them to continue the Black Panther franchise, because they could have just done this for like 7,000-8,000 movies for Black Panther. But I don't know anymore. I think Shuri would be a fantastic fit, or if they get somebody else, I think they would be a fantastic fit as well. But it's just like, I don't know. It's still hard. I either they cancel the movie altogether, and just have like somebody from Wakanda, like a Shuri Black Panther mantle, appear in the next Avengers. That would be a route they could go in. But I don't know if they want to continue with Black Panther 2. Then I think Nathan's idea is pretty cool too.
I think they do too, both as an ode to him and respect to continue a story. Because, like Nathan said, like I think it would be kind of disingenuous to be like, oh, it's not a mantle, like, oh, and obviously I think that's what Chadwick would want. I don't know the man personally, but I feel like
I agree.
He'd probably want, based off everything that Black Panther did for the industry, I feel like he would want that impact to momentum to go forward,
and for the audience too, what it represents.
Yeah.
So
I can't find the GIF that I like remember seeing, but like I think out of like one of the mobile Marvel games.
I know what you're talking about.
There was a great GIF of Shuri like in a Black Panther suit with like her braids coming out and everything. It was gorgeous.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's stuff in the comics too that like there's got to be some plot points of like in his absence, like stuff happens, or I'm sure there's stuff in the comics where they can kind of tie in ideas, and obviously I think Ryan Coogler is probably weighing this exact stuff right now of like
that's Black Panther Shuri right there. It's a actual
cool.
comic cover. It's the title Black Panther Shuri. So
yeah.
I
think whatever route they go will be the right decision, whether they want to have him get killed off or not killed off, but just I don't think he's going to die in battle or anything. But I think they could just have him like peacefully go into the, what's it called, Black Panther realm? I forget what it's called now.
Ancestral plane.
Yep. That'd be a nice send off.
Yeah.
It's weird because I was the opposite for Leia. I thought like 100% they were not going to kill Leia. Mm-hmm. I was completely sold on like they wouldn't do that, but they did. And
her son.
And her son. Yeah. I love. Why do we have to mention this movie every one of our podcasts? It's inevitable.
Oh,
it's inevitable.
it's like that meme where like you look down the paper and like it says hope, like the whole Star Wars franchise hope, and it's like, oh wow, this is worthless.
Yeah, the Skywalkers all died. Yay, hope. Anyways,
have more emotional connection to Frog Lady and her husband. Awesome.
Wow.
Happy endings, man. We like them.
Love it. So yeah, I would hate to be in their shoes. I'm very interested to see what what's it called? Coogler is cooking up. I trust the people at Marvel, him and Kevin. They're going to come up with something special with the continuation of Black Panther.
Absolutely. I think it could also be like plenty fun if like you can maybe like even continue like a Black Panther story with T'Challa, maybe in like the sense of just like background info of like existing like news reports or something, like bypassing and scenes, just like keep him alive in universe, just keeping that flow, or even like have like side established comics in universe, because they've done that in both like this universe and like Star Wars does it. So
I would love that. I think Star Wars does it more so than Marvel in terms of like what's going on in universe at the time, but I would love that. That'd be pretty cool.
I have a random MCU comic that takes place like right after Age of Ultron with like that lineup they showed at the end with everybody.
Yeah,
like
where they're like fighting like a random like big
giant
robot.
ultra. I got it on like 2016 for Comic Book Day.
I remember that. Yeah, it was like with Falcon and them and Scarlet Witch. Yeah, right there. Yeah,
it's on hand.
That's crazy. What's next?
I
think
should we dive into the Cinemark thing?
let's do that. Let's do the Cinemark. Um,
Remember that
Carson,
episode we did with AMC Universal? This, but Cinemark. All right, moving on.
Hey now.
yeah, Carson, do you have? I think you have a lot more details than I do. I didn't do a ton of research.
Yeah, so it's the same structured deal.
Let me see.
But the only new the thing is it's the 17-day thing, and then the option to go to premium video on demand, and then they recoup a certain percentage, or Cinemark would recoup a certain percentage of the Universal premium on demand sales. And the only other detail was that that films, if they hit around 50 million like opening weekend, that would signal that it's going to do a normal theater run and bypass of the premium video on demand agreement happening at that 17-day mark.
Yeah, I thought 50. I thought under 50 million means like you get 17 days before.
Right.
It has
And
the
I believe they
potential to
get a
be
choice
DVOD.
too.
Yeah.
Like they can pick and choose.
And we talked about this with the Universal and AMC thing. Like, this isn't a guarantee for every movie. Universal and AMC are going to discuss which movies they want to do this with. It's not like every single Universal movie is going to go follow this. It's going to be like picking and choosing.
Yeah.
So I thought like everything under 50 million is 17 days, then everything over 50 million is 31 days.
Yes. And then I guess of that, I don't know if after the 31 days it goes to premium or not, but I think it eventually staggers down to normal, like, rented on Vudu for $6, rented on Fandango for $6, and eventually when it gets to that, then the theaters stop making the percentage, because then it's just normal, home release stuff.
So I thought I heard Cinemark wasn't getting a percentage, unlike
they're not?
AMC. That's what I heard. I heard Cinemark was not. Let me see here. I just found a website.
Well, that's going to be interesting. Specifically, I wanted to bring up Regal because that's the other big theater chain. It's like, if now we have AMC getting a cut and then Cinemark not, then that puts Regal in an interesting position, because basically earlier this year they were like, fuck off, like, leave us alone.
Demonetized.
So we'll see. Like, I don't, and Regal's been closed. Like, Regal just said it's just not viable right now. We're losing money. Of course, a lot of these chains are. So yeah, that was the main thing, is like another one managed to get a deal with Universal. I think we're probably going to start seeing them from, honestly, I think the next studio to go will probably be Warner Brothers, just because of now that they've, flexed their guns with the HBOMAX release thing. I think you're going to see more of that, especially because Warner Brothers does have a lot of like those mid-budget movies, like The Way Back, and kind of those like $30 to $40 million movies. I think it would probably be more prime for a 17-day release, so people can see them in theaters if they want to, and then get it later. Yeah, but we'll see. It's just interesting because I think it's going to continue forward.
I was wrong. Yeah, it says like AMC and Cinemark respectively get 15 to 17% of like the revenue.
$20 purchase or whatever.
Yeah, so that's how it's going to be working. And so you're saying like at the end of 31 days, or 17 days, like let's say on day 18, is it not going to be $19.99? Is it going to be $6? Like, how much is it going to cost at the end of the days?
So I think is how it's going to go. If I'm correct, and I may not be, the standard exclusivity window has usually been somewhere around like 90 days.
90
depending
days, yeah.
for like top of the line movie, big budget movie. So
for a theatrical run.
Yeah, for a theatrical run, like exclusivity.
Yeah, for sure. Like solid 3 months, yeah.
Yeah. And so what would happen was, okay, so say day 18, say the movie opened to like 32 million, and then by day 17 of release, the studio's like, hey, we think it's more viable to drop it on premium on demand. So day 18, it goes premium on demand, and then I think they stagger off the show times that next week or whatever, and then it would be exclusively on premium on demand between day 18 and day 90. I believe, and then by day 90 it would become normal, $6, and then by that point, then the theaters won't be recouping any more back end.
Got it. Yeah, and I think it's important for the audience to know, like, at the end of day 18 or at the end of day 51, after those runs, it's not going to just automatically leave theaters. I think it's still going to be in theaters.
It's going to stagger off just less show times, and it's
you're going to have that option. Then you can have a shorter window to have that option. So instead of having 90 days, then having that option, audiences are now going to be like, oh well, I can just wait 3 weeks and then have the option to see this in theaters still, or just see this at home for whatever amount.
And the other thing that I'm curious about, because we were talking about HBO Max, where these movies are going to land specifically platformed for the premium rentals. See, because it's like, where I guess like if you're like New Line or A24 or something, and one of your movies gets through, say it just in the future that these deals get made with some of the smaller studios, because I think it's definitely beneficial for them. Like where, because they don't, obviously, A24 doesn't have a streaming service. Like where do you land it that isn't a third party Vudu or whatever? They would be taking an additional percentage from that thing. See, with like HBO Max, Warner's owns that, so they can afford that premium rental because it's just going right to them.
I think would have to be a third party thing if you're like A24. I think would have to be stuff like a YouTube or a Amazon Prime or a Fandango or Vudu, whatever, stuff like that.
So I'll be curious to see how that's handled, because my idea too is like, specifically like AMC has like it's a bad streaming service, but they have AMC On Demand. I wonder if they started to negotiate like deals where certain movies would go to AMC On Demand for a certain time of that window. So I'll be curious to see how theaters, how hard they kind of latch on to some of these movies and try to keep down, so they can trickle down as much profits as possible.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think in general, for me personally, I'm fine with this. Like, because I personally go to Cinemark more so than AMC because I live closer to a Cinemark than an AMC. And I'll still be going to theaters within those 17 days.
Clutches pearls.
I'll still be going to those theaters within those 17 days. I always go opening weekend. And if not opening weekend, I'll go the next weekend, which is 14 days. So I think it'll be fine. And also, like we were mentioning earlier, I have the tweet pulled up here. There's a lot of movies that make a big bulk of their box office via those 17 days. So even if a movie makes like under, what was the 17 day one was like under 50 million, you'll still be making a lot of money. Let's see here, bookmark. Yeah, so Wonder Woman in the first 17 days made 66% of its box office with 275 million in 17 days. Domestically, Avengers Endgame made 84% of its box office in the first 17 days with 723 million. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was half of it.
I know.
And it's crazy because it's so upfront. Like, and I think people don't realize that it's like the theater business is building on that hype of going opening weekend. And so it makes sense to structure these deals to keep that hype of going to the movies. You know what I mean? Of going opening night with your friends on a Thursday or Friday night, of going to the Avengers or going, we missed that experience of going to Endgame opening night and cheering with the crowd. Like that's what theaters need to focus on right now. And I think these deals ensure that.
I agree. And even those mid-budget movies like Us or Get Out, Us made, I think like 60 or 70 million, which would qualify it for like those 51-day extensions. But even Us, I think over here it says it made 86% of its box office in the first 17 days by making 152 million.
I had a great opening night with Us.
Me too. Those Jordan Peele horror movies, a lot of big horror movies in general, make a lot of movies or make a lot of the box office.
And that was my surprise with it too. Weekend. Is like it wasn't just like I was seeing a standard showing, which I was was originally going to. It was like the fact that like Max show is weird. That's fascinating me. I went there and it was filling up. Like that's a over 200 seat auditorium, and I was like, oh my god.
Exactly. So
that's what gives me hope is that like, this basically is just this is kind of just like insurance, like. Because it moves so quick, and evidence of all those stats that Evan just listed, it moves so quick. And 2021 will be no stranger to that quickness because every single week, boom, new blockbuster, Kong versus Godzilla, Cruella, whatever movies coming out back to back to back to back, it's just gonna move quickly.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because one of the things I'm reading in this article is, can a movie in this coronavirus era? Can a movie even make past 50 million to get to that 31-day window? That'd be interesting to see. We don't really know for sure, but I think it can. I think a big movie like, let me look at the handy dandy 2021 calendar again. But I think a movie like Raya and the Last Dragon, Raya and the Last Dragon could possibly do it. I don't think Ghostbusters is going to do it. But yeah, I think A Quiet Place, when you get into April, A Quiet Place, No Time to Die, I think those are going to make it past 50 million possibly and have some good legs. So
and still, this is still just between Universal and Cinemark and Universal and AMC. So it won't be expanded fully. Probably, I would say these deals are probably going to happen over the next year. As they bounce back, it's definitely more of a post-vaccine world insurance thing that I think is just going to become a new normal. But I still think we've said it 1,000 times. I still think the best cure for the box office right now is curbing the damn virus and just
the pods, Carson, the pods,
the pods
the
system.
theater pods, the Senate seats.
So it's all in motion. Next week I could be singing a completely different tune of like, oh well, this is like this now. Yeah. And
I mean, I fully agree with you. I think the best cure is a cure, first of all, and theaters always say this every single freaking week. The theaters and studios in general, they need each other. I mentioned earlier with the Marvel VP comment, like. Marvel and Disney is no surprise that they're not making a deal like this. They don't really need to. They don't need to make this kind of deal, even though they have a whole new focus on like Disney Plus and streaming. That's their big focus these days. But they know like their big Pixar movies next year, their big Disney animated movies, their big live action movies, their big Marvel and Star Wars. Those are built for the theaters, and that's never going to change for the next decade or so. And same for Warner Brothers. It's no surprise that Universal is the one making these deals. For the past 5 years, the top three have been Disney, WB, and then Universal. So like Disney and WB are the ones that are like, we don't have to make this deal yet. Maybe they will sooner than later, but it's no surprise.
But Disney has Fox and they have Searchlight and all those things that would probably benefit wholeheartedly from this kind of thing.
Yeah, yes,
but we'll see.
So yeah, future is in flux.
Because I don't think Kingsman is going to make it past anything in February.
Me neither. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, but speaking of Disney and live action, we can jump into the real quick. The John Chu is doing a live action Lilo and Stitch.
Why?
Are you guys excited about that?
Why? Will their heads be as circular as in the cartoon?
I
mean, I just worry about design. I just don't know what it's gonna even.
Me too.
I would have more. I don't know. Like I always think, like I don't know how you translate such interesting designs as someone like Stitch, but I was fairly happy with the designs in like Detective Pikachu. I thought that turned out really well.
Oh, that's very true.
That's a good comparison, actually.
That is a good comparison, yeah. That's one of the only good like live action CGI hybrids. I haven't seen Sonic, but
Sonic's I mean, it was already a vast improvement from like the original design versus the new one. And I wonder if can you imagine? I don't think it was because it's horrible for like the animating team to have to like suffer through
Mhm.
holidays to fix that. But like if that was ever originally the intention of just like people to be outraged, like, oh, what is this horribleness? And it's like, oh, it looks so much better. It's not like a big budget looking film by any means. It looks very
Yeah.
like standard, like these other like lower grade like films you see that made for kids. But I will say, like, I think Sonic himself looked pretty great.
Yeah. So I think they are
Well,
getting better.
Detective Pikachu shot on film. By the way,
It looked so good though.
it did look so good.
It did really look good.
I still want a sequel to that, guys. I know it probably was barely not even breaking even, but I sat on Twitter for like a good 2 weeks. I'm like, I want a sequel. Come on,
Yeah,
I want to
I would like
expand
a sequel.
the
I wanna
Pokemon
be-
world.
I want a sequel to both, man. I want a Sonic sequel. They had the end credit scene. I'm all
Well,
about it.
we're
There's
getting a Sonic sequel.
Yeah, you're
it's
getting a
coming.
Sonic sequel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Um,
But Pikachu, I had more heart for that. So
Me too. I think Pikachu was a very fun, surprisingly fun film that I could definitely see multiple sequels going to. I just don't think it made too much at the box office to them, like to want a sequel.
I went
Yeah,
opening
it crossed
night.
450 million, I think, barely.
Yeah,
So it's right on the line.
right on the line. But yeah, going to Lilo and Stitch, I think the designs for, I mean, Stitch is called 626. There's 626 other, at least 626 other different kinds of alien creatures, and they all
The
look
sequels.
very different. Have you guys seen the Lilo and Stitch TV show on Disney?
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
have.
every episode had a different alien creature, and they all looked super different, super unique.
But
and super
did they
crazy.
have 626 episodes?
I don't think so.
No, can you imagine that? Didn't they have like some special event with like a lot more of them?
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
was
I
that
think,
the movie I'm thinking of where it's like they're all spread?
I think there's one electric one. I think it could be 627 or 628. I forget what it was.
They're very close to Stitch's number, I've noticed.
Yeah, yeah.
537 or something.
Yeah, there wasn't like 1, 2, or 3.
Wasn't it like revealed like the one with isn't the shark dude's name's Jumbo? Or
Yeah.
no, that's the that's
Isn't it?
the evil I'm thinking of, like the buff dude that's constantly hunting for
Yeah.
the rabbit. His little guy that's the yellow guy that always like is eating everything.
Mhm.
Wasn't he like a 1 or 2 digits off from Stitch, where it's like, oh yeah, so it would have been like the great one, but he's just like so
Yeah,
lazy.
Yeah,
He's
no,
so
I'm pretty
hungry.
useless.
Guys, I was just looking up Lilo and Stitch, the original,
Mhm.
and like I can't believe it came out in 2002. That doesn't
I was gonna
What?
say, I thought it was like 2004, but yeah, it's so.
music
think
by
it-
Alan Silvestri and directed by the guy that did the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. I'm like,
Whoa!
if they don't
I didn't
sign
know
off
that.
on this,
Still-
I don't want I don't want this live action thing if we don't get Alan Silvestri back, and I want
True.
what's his name?
Alan
I want Chris
Silvestri?
Sanders producing.
He is in the Disney house though. I think you could get him, but
Yeah.
I
that's
yeah, I
good.
didn't know that. I still need to see the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy.
I mean, it's the best animated trilogy of all time.
So I've heard, and that's but Toy Story. Okay, yeah,
They made a fourth one. You're out.
I like the fourth.
You're out.
You're out. All right.
But yeah,
You know, if there's a How to Train Your Dragon 4, you're gonna see it.
Oh, 1,000% easily. I'm there. Day zero. I'm there. But yeah, I think the only thing giving pause for these live action remakes is just the way how they execute it. Like, I think the designs for Stitch and designs for all these alien creatures can come off very goofy in live action. And from the director's standpoint, I like John Chu. I think his best work is Crazy Rich Asians, which I think is pretty above average movie. I think it's really good. But he also did Now You See Me Too, garbage. G.I. Joe Retaliation, garbage.
So what, you weren't a fan of Daniel Radcliffe just trying to be a criminal?
That wasn't the worst part of that movie. They made a clone of Woody Harrelson for no reason.
You're right.
Yeah, that was bad.
Stupid. I remember being in the theater like, this is a joke, right? They're making him have a long lost brother? Really?
It's so
Really?
weird how
With
they
hair,
shoot it too.
with hair.
That's bad.
because it looks so stitched together because it is, but like it's just funny how it plays out.
Stitch.
Stitched together.
Aha! I didn't even try to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like
But,
Crazy Rich Asians, and
He's doing In the Heights too.
Oh yes, the musical has yet to come out, which is supposed to come out summer 2021 now. I can't remember when it got delayed to.
I have. Granted, I have no idea how you translate a design like Stitch without coming off very unintentionally scary. Because he's this 6-armed demon.
It's gonna be the Baby Yoda effect, right? It's gonna be like 17,000 trial and errors because
I think it's gonna come down to the eyes because he has like the big black eyes.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting because, Baby Yoda is a good idea for it because he's a very adorable creature. Kids love him. I loved him as a kid.
He's got two. Stitch has two sides, right? Like he's like his like base instinct, like monster, but then also his adorable, more like
adorable, fun,
human
relatable side. Human side. So.
Yeah.
And do they do a hybrid method? Do they do all? I mean, you know what I mean? Is it gonna just for interacting with the whoever? That's another thing that the casting for the actors. I don't know. That's gonna be tough.
The child, yeah. Ooh.
I don't know. It's got a lot against it, but it's one of my favorites. I love this movie. So.
It is, and I like that they're going a diverse route. John too directing, and the culture of Lilo and Stitch is always fascinating to me. The Hawaiian culture. So yeah, maybe the Rock's gonna get in on this too. You never know. But
I'm down. Oh man, you could play the big shark dude. I'd be down.
Oh, that would be.
Oh my god, I need it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Disney loves their live action remakes. It's never going to stop anytime soon. So
I feel like it's even more like of a special original film just because like the fact that it was like not that long ago and it was a hand-drawn animation.
Also, Carson,
art form.
You said this is 2002. When did Treasure Planet and Atlantis come out? Like a year prior?
Okay,
Atlantis
was...
I think Treasure Planet was the last
2001.
one before Princess and the Frog.
Oh wait, no.
2001?
Atlantis was 2001.
Okay.
And Treasure Planet, I think it was
2003.
So Treasure Planet came in the same year as Lilo and Stitch.
So
I think it was
Disney,
still after though.
Come on! That's your live action movie that you need to do.
I still gotta rewatch it.
Like, especially because it's not one of those things where when you Lion King, you're like, okay, those lions can get pretty weird and they look emotionless. Lilo and Stitch, you're like, how is it going to look if you CGI the aliens? For products like Treasure Planet or Atlantis, you don't have that issue. It's a very human-centered thing. The only thing that's weird is going to be like the whole world, the whole structures of the world of what's going on.
Which just bring a good director in and let them put their visual style on it, and you're good.
Exactly. I think it'll work more for Atlantis because Treasure Planet does have a lot of alien creatures with alien pirates.
Yeah.
But even then, I think that could look very well. It could look very cool. Come on, Disney. You're so close. You're in the right
is
year.
So underrated. Atlantis is so underrated too.
Freaking good. The animation in Atlantis is beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Jeez, love that. And you can bring Michael J. Fox in for a voice role or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah, would you guys like to discuss this rumor that just came out just now from MCU?
Sure.
So there was a Halloween costume found with the film connection of Venom to Let There Be Carnage, the infamously anticipated sequel. But it's not just that. It's a factor of the fact that the costume design of Venom, it's like the same film design of Venom with like all of like the white vein aesthetic around, but it now also features an official spider symbol on Venom, indicating maybe a potential involvement of Spider-Man into the Venom story.
Ooh, I think that's bogus, but it's very interesting.
Look at the costume. You can't
see
it.
That's the Halloween costume, right?
Yeah, I would be like more apprehensive if it was just like, oh, it's just like a generic Venom like everything else. But the fact that it's specifically the movie veiny looking Venom.
Can you post that in the DMs real quick?
Yeah, I'll take a I'll share it over. Here you go.
But yeah, I think I do think at this point there's going to be a Spider-Man reference. I still don't think we're going to see Tom Holland I don't think we're going to see Tom Holland in Venom 2. I don't think that's the case.
Spider-Verse. Maybe not
Venom 3 is it? I think Venom 3 is an above 80% chance.
You know what?
A Venom end credits.
I think they've had too much time on their hands in post-production, and they're probably getting bad ideas in the editing room. I think they're gonna be like, if Tom showed up in this scene, Avi Araj like, yes. And they bring him in.
You know what I would do if I had like the say to like have an MCU connection? I would just to overly confuse the audience because it's in San Francisco. I wouldn't even have Spider-Man. I'd be like, yeah, here's Ant-Man, because that's where he's. Just to like really throw people off. Like, what is that? What?
That would
just
be
call
hilarious.
Kevin and be like, we're opening the doors wide open, a whole new universe.
I'm literally gonna tie it in like before the snap to like Eddie just kind of like fumbles in and it's like, welcome to Baskin Robbins. Oh snap!
Oh my gosh!
You know what? Venom is absurd, and I love every second of it. And I hope the second one just doesn't even care really about. I mean, obviously, for people like Nathan, like these Spider-Verse connections and stuff are cool. I just want to have a good time with Tom Hardy in a lobster tank again. That's all I'm here.
I think
for.
we're already in better hands with Andy Serkis. We've said so.
I think so too. And as long as we have a good Woody Harrelson wig, we're fine.
We keep saying we're in better.
Well, I mean, it's not even like a full wig anymore. It's like it's really cut down.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Like, it looks pretty like a good buzz cut.
Good Florida man.
Thank God. Wow. But we keep saying we're in better hands with Andy Serkis. One, we haven't heard him talk much about the movie. I hope he does a lot more interviews and stuff.
He's busy.
But then also, he's done one film beforehand. He's done like one film that nobody.
Don't you come for Mowgli?
I was thinking of another film. I guess he's done two now. But
You got Christian Bale voicing a panther. It's
I didn't see
amazing.
Mowgli, and he did this other romance film. I thought beforehand.
Oh, he
also.
did. Oh, yes, that.
You know what I'm talking about?
That 2018 movie.
It was that period piece, right?
What is it called?
I forget what it's called, but it was something that nobody saw. And Mowgli also, sorry, nobody saw that movie.
Nobody did. They botched that release.
They
They were
botched
going to
it.
Netflix, and then
They got so scared because of the 2016 Jon Favreau one. That's so sad.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I hope Andy Serkis is a great fit for this. I think he is, but you never know. Having said that, I think, I don't think Tom Holland's going to be involved in this movie at all.
Allow me to break down my crackpot theories of the Spider-Verse.
yeah.
Okay, so wait, real quick, guys. My theory about Loki being in Thor is crazy, but Nathan, you have the floor for your crazy theory. Let's go. Let's listen to it.
Well, we have confirmation of Doctor Strange in the Spider-Man film. Anything's possible. Meanwhile, you're just like, oh yeah, I think Tom Hiddleston could show up.
Loki has been in every single Thor movie. I'm sorry for thinking he's going to be in this
but
one.
he fake died and survived at the end of all those. And I will literally break this down for you. In Thor, when he gets lost into the void, there's an end credit scene of him alive. In the Dark World, he dies on the Dark World planet, but then it's like, oh no, he was actually Odin. And in Ragnarok, we're fine. But in Infinity War, talk about he's dead. He's actually dead until we go back in time to a different Loki that then escapes in that differing reality universe. Then we have to leave to get the whole different Tesseract.
It's a comic book universe. There's numerous ways where you can get from one reality to the next.
You're telling me we got 6 stones that like have magical powers. We can't get this man back.
Not anymore. They're gone now.
I mean,
No,
Loki has
I'm just
one.
saying the concept of
Loki
6
has
magical
one
stones
to go
and
through his own space-time and not through different dimensions.
You don't know that he can.
I
jumped over.
fully know that. I know how the space stone works.
Oh yeah, Carson. He's seen the movie 8 times, so I mean,
We can retcon.
I've literally said I have seen Endgame enough times to where I've not only sat through the entire credits just for like enjoyment of the score and like really taking it in, but like when you do the math, I have watched Endgame in a theater for 24 hours.
Hey, you can still bring him back.
anyway,
But no, does that not cheapen it for the Infinity War?
I mean,
Well, he dipped out at a little portal like 20 minutes later.
In Endgame, in a different reality.
Endgame in itself cheapens out Infinity War. They all come back, so it's like it doesn't matter.
I need Thor to live with the grieving of everything and just like have it set.
Yes.
That's true. I wouldn't. That would make emotional sense, but knowing Taika, I don't think he gives a crap.
I think he does. I honestly really enjoyed the Odin death scene in Ragnarok.
You're right. Yeah, that was a good death scene. Watch Odin come back too.
Oh,
but
see, I like that scene, but it was like the first time the movie tried to be serious in like 90 minutes, and I'm like, wait, I'm not ready for this. Like, because where it's like pee pee poo poo.
That was
blah,
in the
blah,
first
blah,
half hour.
like...
Sure. Hold on, that was in the first
was
half
it?
hour. Like,
was it?
Yeah, he comes back from hell, and he's like, "What's going on? Oh, okay. Odin, what are you doing?"
No,
oh,
but what about
all
that
right.
scene like on the cliff where they like go visit him or something?
The cliff? You mean the green?
That's right after the Doctor Strange scene, where this is right in the beginning when they exposed Loki as being Odin.
I swear,
Don't
the
rewatch
end
the
before
damn film,
Asgard.
Carson. You're making all
swear
these
before
judgments. You
Asgard
can't
blo-
even remember the film.
Asgard blows up though. I swear,
Objection.
like 10 minutes before though, they go to that cliff.
What are you talking about? No,
I don't know.
No, it literally progresses. I'm sorry to do this again. It literally progresses from the whole hell sequence to exposing Loki on Asgard as Odin to going to be taken to Odin, where we meet Doctor Strange, and then he brings us to the cliff.
Yeah,
That's all in 30 minutes.
Yes,
pretty much. Yeah.
No.
30 to 45.
We spend most of our time on the trash planet, the
Sakaar.
Yeah, Sakaar. Yeah.
Okay. You're
I
probably.
can't remember if that was what it was called because like I have Beskar on my brain,
Yeah.
so I didn't.
I just
Sakaar
like to be in
came to
denial.
mind. I'm like, is that even right? I don't even know. Is that a Star Wars?
Beskar?
It could be.
Right?
But you were saying earlier about your Venom theory.
No, yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I think they want Venom to be a part of the continuity because I feel like
You do?
I do.
Feige
Of
cares about Venom?
MCU continuity?
You think Feige's like, oh, I can't wait to
I
get
don't
Venom?
think. Look, I think within the context of Spider-Man existing, it's the same. Like it will be like the same thing of like, again, Vulture is in Morbius. Anything is possible. So yeah, I can't like really spill any more theories that I've already not done before with like our other Spider-Verse related topics back-to-back weeks. Even like bled into our Harry Potter one. We were like, hey, real quick, Doctor Strange has been confirmed. Like all this stuff. So I think anything's possible. I don't think Venom is in like any other set existing realm. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, I think he'd fit great in like the Andrewverse. But I don't really see that developing.
Makes zero sense. Yeah.
Right. I think I'm just down. And if I go off of my previous reports of the Morbius leak, I think everything does in fact pair together existing anyway.
So we're thinking the Venom universe takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just no references, or
yeah. I mean, I think it's in the same vein of like what they were doing on Marvel Netflix.
Okay, yeah.
And even though like Eddie himself is not like making any distinct references, that's why they moved him like far away from New York from the majority of the crazy MCU stuff. I think you can still have the existing like Ant-Man stories that happen. Granted, we don't even have a specific set time period for when Venom takes place necessarily.
That's very true. Yeah.
And even though Ant-Man gets pretty crazy at times, at least by Ant-Man the Wasp because it's a giant man, I feel like prior to that, I feel like you have like less of a crazy thing to deal with because like again, Ant-Man is all very small scale. Like it's something that can like not be paid attention to as much.
Yeah. So what's next?
Coming up next, let's talk about Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You guys take the floor.
Cinema.
Dream.
So Pedro Pascal is in this. I saw a still of like
Yeah,
Pedro in this, and I'm like, wait, when did this happen?
Yeah. I didn't know Pedro was in it. It's this film called We Can Be Heroes, which is like an assemblance of like hero teams, and it was interesting. I think the most intrigue comes from the fact that the reports that came out like this is actually going to be within the realm of Sharkboy and Lavagirl, where they have grown up, and their child that they, which was also another thing that was like blown up. No, that was another thing that was blown up. Is like, oh my god, they got together and had a kid. They did that, but it's the fact that like, oh my god, we get expansion. It's the fact that we get of all things an expansion of Sharkboy and Lavagirl. Like they've done a plethora of Spy Kids things, and you figure like of all things that may be a thing to like.
When did this movie come out? For a sec, let's
look that up.
I want to say 2005.
It was when the 3D craze was going crazy with the red and blue glasses.
2005.
I
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Dang. Okay.
I remember because I got it as a gift after a play performance in the first grade.
I was 9 years old when that came out. Jeez.
I think
You
I
had
told you guys
35
this.
million. Oh my god.
I think I told you guys this story, this tragic story. Okay, so I have Spy Kids 3D DVD. It literally came with 3D glasses, both designed for Shark Boy and Lavagirl. But like I was in a scenario where like I had my DVD player, but I didn't have the remote. But it was like, okay, cool, because I can just hit play on the physical DVD player back when that was the thing. It's so weird to think DVD players are like starting to get that same obsolete aesthetic as like
Yeah.
a VCR of like these descriptions. Oh, but there's no arrow keys right on the DVD player.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, but it's fine because every logical DVD will launch on the press play movie. I queue it up and it could have started like anywhere. It could have been on scene selection. I would have been fine. It could have even been special features and I would have figured this out. No, they were like, yeah, let's start your cursor on setup where you can't watch your movie.
That's so
weird.
weird.
Like, oh, come on. I think
I
this
remember
was also
those
before,
dilemmas back in the day.
I think this was before I also figured out you
I
can
don't-
just like hit stop twice to like get your movie to auto play when you hit play again.
Oh, I didn't
It was
know that.
this weird functionality of things.
I don't remember any of that stuff.
I do. But yeah, that's my tragic
Anyways.
backstory of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. But I love the film. I grew up watching it so much. But you know, again, I'm a kid, so I'm not thinking about like, oh, this green screen's horrible. I'm just like, oh, hey, I'm having a fun time in Dream
Yeah.
World. And then I grow up, and I'm like, you know, yes, I see it's bad, but I have nostalgia to this now.
I mean, yeah, I watched this movie 1,000 times growing up. I used to love this movie a lot. Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Yeah, it was just a fun movie, great songs. Dream, dream, dream.
The Land of Milk and Cookies, yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That was
Yeah.
great song. I mean, especially like as a kid growing up, I'm a huge like superhero fan. I loved Shark Boy. Lava Girl was pretty cool, and it reminds me of the whole scene from Incredibles. It's just like you guys got together and got busy.
Right. No, literally, there was a viral tweet. That specifically was reading like, "Oh my god, sex! They had sex. Shark Boy and Lava Girl had sex." I was like, oh my god.
But
But
not Taylor Lautner.
I'm about to
'cause
say
he's
they didn't
gone.
bring back Taylor Lautner. What happened? What
So
are you
this
doing,
was
What's this
Taylor?
man doing?
Making
So-
hamburgers.
I think he's retired.
He's-
I think he's
with
out.
Alden at McDonald's now.
Honestly, like I was literally like reading replies. I
Poor
was like,
Alden.
what did happen? I was like, what did happen to Taylor? And somebody was like, I think he's just chilling. He has a net worth of like 40 million. I think he's good.
$40 million? That's BS.
Twilight, man.
Who's paying this guy $40 million? Your net worth is garbage. Your net worth is $2 million.
Twilight money, my guy.
That's ridiculous.
I do feel bad in the sense of just like we've had acting redemption for Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, but nothing for Taylor. Because I think the most recent thing, the popular he did, was that Adam Sandler Ridiculous 6 Netflix movie.
Oh, I didn't know he was even in that.
That is 2015.
Yeah.
His most recent thing that he did was the Scream Queens TV series and the Cuckoo TV series,
I think that
which I've never
yeah,
heard
I
of.
think the most recent thing was Cuckoo. I was reading that in replies too. That ended in like 2018.
Never seen
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Oh,
Wow.
according to
What?
Kelly, Taylor Lautner lost his abs.
yeah.
Oh.
Hot take. He's
I
been
I mean, when I did
downgraded by
see-
the community.
when I saw a still of him in that Adam Sandler movie, I was like, "That is where'd your jawline go, man?"
wow.
That's what happens
I
when you're
think
not
he
in
was
the limelight.
specifically like trying to look goofy, but I was like, "Oh,
Yikes. I remember after Twilight, they tried to make him like the big action star. He was in this one action movie that I went to go see, and it wasn't
He's
very
worth
good.
40 million. Oh my god.
That's BS. Nobody's
nuts.
paying this guy that much.
You
He's
say
saving
that,
it.
but
He is
Twilight
saving it.
made so much back end money. Like he probably had a
That's what I'm
deal.
saying.
They weren't
that
thinking.
is one of the biggest
like,
franchises,
oh,
whether you like it
5%.
or not.
That's crazy. Okay.
Whether you like it or not, it's one of the biggest franchises." But
I have yet to see a single Twilight movie. I'm exposed.
Really?
myself right
You never
now.
seen at least one?
I've seen most
all
of
of
them,
them.
and when I was younger and I was enjoying. I actually want to go back and revisit them because I
The
also
first
like
one's
trash,
actually pretty
so
good. The first one's pretty solid. It's just everything after that is bad.
I have a 10-year anniversary Twilight poster from my theater because they had a re-release, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't see it, but I was like, I'll grab it because it's good looking art. It's a good poster.
So when does this movie come out?
January 1st, 2021
Oh, wow,
on
okay.
Netflix.
On
Prime
Netflix.
real estate.
And
Also, I
what's-
think Shark
Okay.
Boy and Lava Girl is on Netflix now.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know that it
Ooh,
was.
I remember
Have
because
to
people were
rewatch
like tweeting about it with that whole dream GIF and video and stuff from
Yeah.
weeks ago and months ago.
So we were talking about the costume. So the costume was interesting because the first thing I was like, oh, wow, I'm surprised they put a fin on his mask, and then I remembered, oh, he never wore a mask. And I think they did that purposefully because it's a new actor.
Yeah.
Even though like they're adults, I think, is it the same actress that played Lavagirl?
It looks like it.
I
think
think it is.
so.
I'm gonna go.
She looks like it.
And you know what's funny is like I know like the effects aren't like great with Shark Boy and Lavagirl, obviously. And I think that was like, and that's the funny thing is just the whole origin of Shark Boy and Lavagirl was just like because Robert Rodriguez can make them cheap, like literally everything on a green screen. He made this just for his kids. But like, he was like, I can distribute it, cool. And it's funny because the man's a jack of all trades because he composes his own music and stuff. It's insane. But what I was surprised
Yes, this
the
is
most
the
with,
actress
like,
of Lava Girl.
Okay, cool.
yeah, what I was surprised, like again, like the effects aren't great, but I was like looking at Lava Girl's hair and I was like, oh, it looks phenomenal, just like the original. Pause on that sentence, but
It's all CGI.
yeah, I was just like, I really do like the aesthetic of her hair though.
So what is the purpose of this movie? Like Pedro Pascal related to Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Or?
I'll
don't
read
think- there-
you
what
the
is the
synopsis right
synopsis?
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
When alien invaders kidnap Earth superheroes, their children must team up and learn to work together if they want to save their parents and the world.
So is Pedro Pascal one of those parents, or is he one of those?
I think he. I don't
Now
know.
I'm trying to break down the Shark Boy and Lava Girl canon to try to remember, was Shark Boy and Lava Girl real, or was it just the dream world, or is this like
I
Nightmare on
thought
Elm
they
Street
were
rules where you can
real.
bring them out? Were they real, or was it like? Because I don't know, because Max was dreaming and like the other adversaries he was like fighting against were like people from his real life, like his teacher and stuff.
Yeah. Like George Lopez.
So
right?
much.
Yeah, Mr.
George
Electric.
Lopez.
I want him expelled.
He ruined my dream journal. Oh,
Great
what a big
acting.
meme! It's great.
Great.
But then there was a redemption arc for him, and I was like,
There was, yeah.
It's so crazy, all these like themes in Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Good themes for his kids, I suppose. That's great.
Good themes. So moving on, I think we should.
No. We're sticking around. Are
What
we
else did
done
you
talking?
say?
I don't know. Wait, what was the synopsis again? You said when aliens
Aliens kidnap parents, and so the kids got to team up for all the superheroes on Earth and get together and save the parents and the world.
Yeah, that has me intrigued again with the lore of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I'm just like, heroes in this world? I never would have guessed.
Yeah, so confusing. Of like, so are they in the dream world? Are they all?
Honestly, I dare Robert Rodriguez to have a Spy Kids connection, because you know what's hilarious is like you like watch the Spy Kid films and like Danny Trejo's in that. He's literally the same Machete character from the Machete films that are super gory, rated R.
He really is.
Oh my gosh.
It's so, but then you look at Spy Kids and it's so child friendly, and it's just like, what the hell?
I remember growing up, I'm like, so that a spinoff of Spy Kids?
It literally is. It's so
It really
weird. What's
could.
also weird is like I've not properly watched the fourth Spy Kids film because I was like, oh, it's not the OG cast.
I never
But
did
then also,
either. Yeah.
I found out Carmen and Junie have cameos by the same actors in Spy Kids 4. I'm like, what?
I don't care. They're not the main leads.
I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I
Spy Kids
don't
2
think I
is
wanna take
the
it.
best. Spy Kids 2 is still a great movie.
Yes, Island of Lost Dreams, phenomenal.
So good. Dang, you remember
with
this
the
episode too. Nice.
And with the infamous Steve Buscemi quote, do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
Wow.
In a kid's film.
That's so deep.
Cinema. I'm telling you. Robert
Spy
Rodriguez.
Kids 2, I used to watch that on repeat. Spy Kids 2 is great.
I'm
So in the
just
sense
so
of, like-
curious to see his Mandalorian episode. I cannot wait.
No, okay, that I was literally about to say my hype for Robert Rodriguez with Mandalorian does not stem from these childish things. It stems from like his work on the Sin City films, because just stylistically they're so awesome.
I've never seen them, but I've seen Spy Kids.
So you are prepared. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I've definitely heard like a lot of criticism for the second Sin City over the first. but I still personally enjoyed both a lot. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's
too.
in the second one, so that's fun.
Ooh, Spy Kids 2 is on Stars. I can try and watch that. Spy Kids 2 got a
Pirates Bay for me.
75% on Rotten Tomatoes. Huh.
As it should.
Nice.
Spy Kids
Honestly,
2 is great.
rewatched it. It's dope.
And Spy Kids 1 is also really, really good.
Spy Kids 3 is when he fell into the green screen even more.
Hey, Spy Kids 1 has a 93%. This is an Oscar-worthy movie.
Really? What does Spy Kids 3 have? I need to know.
I doubt it's any
Probably
good.
like
You don't want to know. You don't want to.
45%. Quite the dip.
Oh,
But it
That's
made the
about
most.
right.
197 million.
That's insane. It made the most.
That 3D box office.
Yeah, what year did it come out? What with the 3D craze?
2003.
Wow. It's so weird, like when to pinpoint the actual 3D craze was, because I remember there's like, you can go to like I think the third, maybe not the third, but like one of the like Friday the 13th films that were produced in the 80s and 90s, like it was like 3D and stuff, and I'm like, how long has 3D truly been around? And it's always been a gimmick, but I'm just like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It's funny whenever I like call it like, yeah, it's always been a gimmick, and me recognizing that. Meanwhile, me in like the 2010s going to see any film in a 3D format because premium. Like, oh yes,
You
you
are
do a real
contributors.
3D IMAX 3D. I will say IMAX 3D is always phenomenal for me. It's always a great. I remember when I saw Infinity War and like Doctor Strange pulling the stone out of the sky and like drifting it toward the screen. I was like, oh my god. Or like Force Awakens, there was the shot of the Star Destroyer just sticking out, and I was like, oh. I literally did that.
I think
And
the last
dude,
movie
I will
saw-
say Gravity in
Ooh,
IMAX
that'd be a good
3D,
one.
an experience. Let me tell you, so good.
What did I see last? I think I saw X-Men Apocalypse, and that was just a fitting end for me for 3D.
A fitting end?
It's just horrible.
I don't know the last 3D movie I saw. I might have been what movie was it? Mary Poppins in 3D, because I got an early screening and it was only available in 3D.
I remember my apprehensive scaring of seeing 3D because my IMAX 3D projector was breaking at a point, like when they were showing films, and like I thought there was something like wrong with my eyes or something, because it was like legitimately like making it hard to see. I think I first noticed it like I went to go see Guardians 2. And like that's a really busy film. Like I started to adjust to it, but I was like, damn. And the last nail in the coffin was I went to the premiere of Wonder Woman, and I was just like, it really did hurt to like focus on. I was like, damn, this is a bummer. And, until it got to a point where they were just like, until they got to a point where it was like, all right, boom, here's IMAX standard for films. And I was like, all right, cool. And then we circled back where like they did IMAX 3D again. It was for the premiere of Black Panther, and I was scared because I was like, I have to go IMAX for the crowd and the fan stuff. But I was like, oh no, I'm so worried. But they fixed it, and let me. It was one of the best experiences. Wakanda looked gorgeous.
Wow. I'll never know because I hate 3D.
This is my emotional roller coaster of my attachment to the theater industry.
Yeah, you're like, I hate it. I love it. I hate it.
I'd put glasses on top of my glasses. It's stupid.
Well, they make it
Yeah,
big enough.
that's
So I
odd.
was like, all right, dope. I will say, like, I had an experience where, like, I had my pair of glasses. One of the bridge of the arms broke off on New Year's Eve, and the following day, New Year's Day, I was going with someone to see Rogue One in IMAX 3D, and I like had this adhesive glue to fix it, but it kept like.
Oh
it melted
no!
off and it fell apart. So what I had to do is I had to pin my actual glasses under the 3D glasses the whole
That's
film
horrible.
and try not to move.
Oh my god.
Who we got here? Which one was that?
Moon. It's a moon.
Oh boy,
He's eclipsing the camera, as they would say.
that's wonderful. So I guess for like a final topic, after all that, it was the Transformers news, right? The Creed 2 director.
Yeah, Creed 2. Let me see. Stephen Cable Jr. I'm so happy for him because he's a very good guy. I like. I watched a lot of his interviews in the lead up to Creed 2 and how he was best friends with Ryan Coogler, and how he was so happy to do Creed 2 with Michael B. Jordan. And now he's leading the new Transformers. And earlier this year, they told us like they're going to do a big revamp on the Terminator franchise with. Spoiler alert, our main man from Obi-Wan Kenobi, Joby Harold, was going to write one of the scripts.
Let me just... It's okay. Never have I felt such I've never actually the amount of time we've talked about Joby Harold on Hyperspace Hype and this show even, I've never actually felt that negative toward the guy because I was just like, I wasn't so bothered by King Arthur and like stuff like that. But like when I just heard you say we're revamping the Terminator franchise, and I'm just like, because it's not just it's not like the fact. Oh, okay. Well, let me just say we're Terminator.
Terminator?
Yeah, he said Terminator.
What's funny with that is like I actually had a really pleasant time with Dark Fate. I really did.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I think it was really good. I can understand some choice with the whole John Connor stuff. But in terms of it in terms of it being its story. Well, I get it from the sense of like all the build up from like and the love of Terminator 2 to like what happens. I get that, but as its own like self-centered story, I like it. But I will say, like with the amount of time we've tried revamping Terminator, it's just like I feel tired from it because they did like, oh, we got Salvation, oh, it didn't work. All right, here's Genesis, oh, that didn't work. All right, here's Dark Fate. So
yeah, didn't Cameron get like final cut on Fate anyways? Like, didn't you just basically edit the whole movie and produce it and
that's what I was
basically direct
it? And he was publicly promoting it and stuff. I think what's also been funny is like how somehow they've gotten Arnold continuously, even when they couldn't get him for Salvation, they'd CG Arnold, one of the Terminators.
That's too funny.
Yeah, I mean, the Terminator franchise. I think you'll like it. The Terminator.
I think Fate had franchise. I also think Fate had like one of the best uses of the de-aging technology. Like it looked like
definitely 1980s. Yeah, I think it was great. I mean,
I Tim Miller, right? Tim Miller.
Yeah, it is Tim Miller.
Yeah.
I love the first couple of minutes of Terminator, even though it's very controversial. Like Nathan was saying, I think it works well. I mean, I'm a huge T2 fan, and I really liked the beginning. But yeah, I think Terminator is one of those franchises next to Alien and Predator where they're just dead. They're never going to come back, at least for the next couple of years. But getting into Transformers, I think I'm happy that they seem to be revamping the Transformer franchise. I don't know which script, because they do say like they have one script by James Vanderbilt and one by Joby Harold. I don't know which script that Stephen Cable Jr. is going to follow. But it does seem that that a lot of higher ups at Paramount really want Stephen Cable Jr. to be their new lead for the next Transformers movie, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I do too. Creed 2 is underrated. I remember watching chiefly that I think he's from Ohio. Somehow Chris Stuckman did an interview with him. It's hilarious to see Chris Stuckman outside of his little setup. I remember he posted it on his channel. I'm like, wait, what? But it was at some Ohio film festival thing, and Chris Stuckman, of course, is just like fanning out because, oh my god, I've never done an interview before. Like, blah blah blah. But yeah, all of his answers for Creed 2 is just he just has a great sensibility to his directing, and I think just anybody that's human, just telling anything other than what Michael Bay is doing has been doing is good, and I'm excited to see this, and then also the new animated one that's coming out that we always forget about with Josh Cooley or whatever his name is.
Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that.
So it's a cool relaunch of the franchise, and it's 5 years too late, but I hope it makes up for itself.
Okay, I just looked it up real quick, and he is doing the Joby Harold script, so he's following that one.
God.
Okay,
We'll see.
Look, I am very positive moving forward the Transformers franchise at last, because of the fresh air that Bumblebee was.
Still good.
Especially from a design perspective, because just like as we got more into the Bay films, it was just like, oh, you keep crumbling up that same piece of tinfoil, don't you?
Literally.
But then, like that's why I was like so like I have not even like been like the deepest in like the Terminator franchise of like the cartoons and stuff. But like when I went to go see Bumblebee at an early access screening, mind you, which was fun. But I went, and the fact that like the whole opening was on like the fall of Cybertron, which we know, which anybody who knows Transformers knows it's a big deal. But the fact that they were all designed like they were in like the old 80s cartoon aesthetic and not just like the super bayified every like digital pixel of moving part. It was like so phenomenal to see. Like they look so good. It's such a great design. These simplistic looks. So I really want those designs to carry forward, hopefully. And again, Bumblebee was just such a phenomenal time too. I would also like to hear word of a Bumblebee 2. I think that would be fun.
Are we getting a Bumblebee sequel?
I don't think we are, and I'm super surprised by that.
How much money?
If we did get a Bumblebee sequel, I also wondered, is Haley Steinfeld to return for that, do you think? Or was Bumblebee leaving?
Bumblebee was leaving. We saw him wasn't he with Optimus?
That's right.
He might have been
on the bridge,
I think
right?
They were,
yeah,
and they turned to a Camaro. It was like, oh, you could have been that the whole time.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love. I mean, what else is Haley Steinfeld doing now? She's doing the Apple TV series and possibly
probably unconfirmed Hawkeye. Yeah, basically.
So, and that shouldn't take long. It's a TV series. That should take a couple months at least. So I don't know, Haley. You're a great actress. I loved her in Edge of 17 and stuff. Where's she been recently?
Bumblebee made money. $100 million production budget. It made $465 million worldwide. It also made about $40 million on digital or at-home DVD and Blu-ray sales. So
it reminds me
of. And what was that Rotten Tomatoes score for it?
90.
Pretty high. I think it was like 80s.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the whole Pokemon scenario. It's on that cuff, that 400, that mid 400 range, and for studios these days, that means like it's on the cuff, especially for Transformers, where you probably have a ton of different writers and people who want to go in different directions. You're probably not going to see a Bumblebee 2 anytime soon, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm excited. Like anything new Transformers wise that doesn't have Michael Bay attached to it has me super excited because I love the Transformers universe. I think a lot of different directors can get a lot of different ideas and concepts in for this franchise. I mean, as long as they don't do that stupid like rumor they were going to do the G.I. Joe Transformers mix up.
Oh my god.
That was so
That
weird.
Sounds kind of interesting, though.
Nathan's like, hey.
They're all under Hasbro. They're trying to do
Did
that
you
Hasbro
know?
cinematic universe, and I'm like,
all right, we're getting
know?
Snake Eyes, right? We're going to get a post-credit scene at the end of Snake Eyes.
No.
Did you know
who is
Brendan
Henry
Fraser's
Golding, right, or
character?
somebody?
Did you know Brendan Fraser's character in G.I. Joe is a descendant of his character in The Mummy?
Wow.
Cinema.
That's a real thing.
I did not know that. No.
Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origin coming out October 22nd, 2021. Let's go.
Channing Tatum's in the first one, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. I don't know if he's in the second one, but the Rock.
They killed him off in the first 5 minutes of the second one.
Why?
Oh, spoiler!
Was he busy?
Henry Golding is going to be interesting. The new Snake Eyes. So
I think that movie's gonna be pretty solid.
You know what's hilarious? A fun fact is just like I have a G.I. Joe Retaliation poster from a theater back before they did the release date change for it that they had. So I have like an OG release date print for it.
Ooh,
which you may think, oh, cool, but it's
Divergent.
also Oh, Divergent.
Who?
Okay.
Snake Eyes.
The director of that Divergent 2, Divergent 3, R.I.P.D. and Red.
Whoa! I like Red. Red is pretty good.
That Bruce Willis movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce Willis and John Malkovich.
Was Red 2?
We'll see.
I didn't see Red.
Yeah. Red 2 is pretty meh. And I'm one of the people that like the first G.I. Joe more so than Retaliation. People like Retaliation more because of The Rock, but I like the first G.I. Joe a lot, and I guess I'm in the minority. But maybe I'm nostalgic. I haven't rewatched it as a kid.
But yeah, it's always interesting to think these like crossover things like G.I. Joe and Transformers. Like, I'm one of the most bizarre mental people who've been like, yes, please give me the Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover. I need that.
I would have loved that still. Oh my god,
that felt so natural though. That was like like a no-brainer, and everyone's like, guys, you got to do it.
I feel like especially after they did like the end credits where it was like all the way up to like 4th Jump Street, like one of the best end credit gags, dude. That's amazing. I love that moment too when they're like we're going through and then like they had a scheduling or they had like a disagreement with Jonah Hill, so they replaced him with Seth Rogen. And they were like, "You look kind of different. I just wear glasses now." And then they got him back, and it was like, "Something happened? No, we're fine." Like,
oh, so good.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Because Lord
Transformers.
Miller are just like so brilliant with like just talking about filmmaking and stuff. They're so great. But Transformers.
Yeah, this is Paramount's like big cash cow, so no wonder they like have so many different ideas going around for Transformers.
Do you guys want another? Do you guys want another Earth adventure, or do you guys want to like do more Cybertron stuff?
I never thought that Earth was a problem for Transformers. People used to always say like, hey, "Why are they always on Earth?" Like I think.
Well, no,
Earth,
I think Bumblebee cements that. Like it was.
Bumblebee cements that.
Right.
Yeah, I think you can have a good Earth story. Just that Michael Bay kind of like soured people's taste on that. But I mean, I'm fine with it either way.
Let's open this Bud Light real quick and just chug it.
Yeah, I'm fine
camera.
either way. I hope the animated one focuses on Cybertron because I think you have a lot more flexibility.
I agree.
To move around to different places and whatever kind of action you want to do in a larger scale in animation. And I like the more intimate and between one human, one transformer kind of stories on Earth, and I think there's a lot of options.
Yep, I concur.
I guess I might about do it for that one. We got like 10 minutes before our, I guess, deadline. Do you guys have any? You guys have anything you watched?
I can go first. I didn't tweet out my reaction because I was so tired last night. But I saw Sound of Metal. Free screening, I might ask.
I still need to see that.
Free screening. Get out of here. Evan has left
By the way,
chat.
when we say that, that's not like a literal insult. We're just like,
I know, yeah.
It's code word.
Yeah,
it's code word like, for other downloads. But yeah.
The audience members are like, dang, Nathan really digging on Evan's mom today.
No, I don't ever mean that.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. But yeah, so I saw Sound of Metal. Absolutely loved it. It was really good. Like
that last scene in the bed, I won't say who's there, but one of the best scenes of the year between the two of them. So good.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what words to describe this movie. It's very raw. It's very heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. Because you kind of you feel for Riz Ahmed's character in this movie deeply. You don't get too much of him without him being deaf, or without him growing to be deaf. But the stuff that you do see, like you understand his character so much early on that when what happens to him happens, it's like, dang, like you feel like everything around him is crumbling. You feel like his anger, you feel his confusion, you feel his sadness, and all of the different scenes. Like this is probably Riz Ahmed's best performance, or at least my favorite performance of his. Next to have you guys seen the HBO miniseries Night of?
I've seen the first episode on a plane.
Fire.
It's really good.
What is with you in these first episodes? You are ridiculous. You remind me of this. Have you guys seen?
Okay, so
there's like this villain who eats stuff but never finishes. You're like, you're one of those people. He never finishes their food.
I am the rampant consumer. I cannot put it all down. Horrible.
So stage production wise of running this, it was funny. Like I accidentally just full screen Carson, but I think that's even more because what I was gonna do, I was gonna kick him from the stream real quick. But I think it's even funnier that like we forced him to just like look at himself.
Accept my failure. It's the mirror of what's the mirror in the Harry Potter? The room where he sees his parents. The room of
somebody
Harrison.
text Emma.
Somebody, literally. She'll know.
But yeah, if anybody hasn't seen it, there's like this HBO miniseries called The Night of, and it's super, super fantastic. And I think this rivals that because I think his performance here is very raw, very, I don't know, it's not understated, but it's like very emotional, very vulnerable performance from Riz Ahmed here. And you feel for his character in every second, like even when he's not making like the right decision, you understand why he wants to do what he wants to do. And Olivia Cook as well. I forgot she was in this movie. I love her so much. Everything she's in, she's great. And she was a great supporting character to Riz Ahmed. The definition of a great supporting figure in this guy's life. And every scene between them is great. Great. They have a lot of great scenes together that just really hit home. I didn't cry, but I was really on the verge of like getting super super emotional in a couple of scenes between them.
I
Because
think
their
the ending is
relationship
really satisfying for me too. I really love
super
the way that.
satisfying.
Yeah.
The last 5 minutes in the ending, I'm like, I really hope this happens, and it
Mhm.
did. And I'm like, yes, I think that's a perfect ending to this character, because you kind of know. It doesn't say like, oh, this is what's going to happen for the rest of his life, but you kind of know what his thought process is towards the end of the
Yeah.
movie. Man, I like this movie a lot. It was really really good. It's probably, I don't see this getting into the best picture category, even though it should, because it's way better than Trial of the Chicago 7. I don't know why that movie, I keep digging on Trial of Chicago 7. It just seems like one of those really
It
safe
feels like an Oscar bait
ensemble
movie. Like it.
It's Oscar Beatty, and it just feels so safe.
The
Like
Irishman.
there's so many other
Hey,
movies I think are just better
I know.
or could be better. Yeah,
No, honestly, the
Irishman.
symbolism of the final scene, I get it.
Irishman's like okay, um, not one of his best. But yeah, I'm just like okay. Sound of Metal deserves a Best Picture nomination in my opinion, and I think Riz Ahmed deserves the Best Actor. But Best Actor is so freaking stacked this year, with Delroy Lindo, Gary Oldman, and Mank. Who am I forgetting? Some people in One Night in Miami. I'm forgetting
yeah,
some
it's a
other
lot
people, but
because all the
but
small movies now are kind of, pulling in. I mean,
trickling out, right? Yeah, I think
yep.
December 4th is going to be a big for streaming, and then December 25th, of course, we talked about that too. So the next couple of weeks is going to be pretty. And next week, November 26th, I think, is a lot of streaming movies coming out. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of reviews coming up next for my cup of tea.
Nice.
Anybody else see something this weekend or recently?
Yeah, I'll go quick. I saw Freaky in theaters.
Oh yeah, how was
The
that?
Vince Vaughn body swap movie. It's very fun. It's very cliche. But like, it's just like a good like. You're going for Vince Vaughn to just act like a teenage girl for 90 minutes, and it's pretty funny.
How was she? How was the actress? Was to play as Vince Vaughn, right?
Yeah,
Or
she's
As a serial killer, yeah.
serial killer.
yeah, she's pretty funny too. I think I definitely liked her better as her own character. But it's funny to see her through Vince Vaughn. It definitely focuses more on Vince Vaughn because that's actually her in his body. But some solid gore. It's $5 million movie. It's got like some cool effects in it. Some cool deaths. It's like just a fun slasher comedy. Like it's like the best thing to like watch like post Halloween. It's just like you don't want to like dive into like a Halloween centric movie, but still it's kind of like fall slasher kind of homecoming vibes. But yeah, the only thing that I didn't like about this movie is the actress is like bullied in it for being like ugly or whatever, but she's more attractive than the bullies, and so it's like she's an incredibly attractive actress and expects us to like buy that she's like bullied in high school, and then she puts the Vince Vaughn body swapped as her, puts on a red leather jacket, and then all the guys in the hallway are like, oh my god, slow motion walking down the hallway, like whoa, when did you get hot? Like
I hate that cliche.
That sounds like
I didn't buy it.
That sounds like the reverse example of just like, oh, I took my glasses off. That's it.
Right,
and it's like cliche.
Yeah, just a bad execution with that, but otherwise, I really liked it, and I think if you have a chance to check it out, I think it's going to be coming out on VOD soon. I think it's one of those first ones that's coming out early on VOD after its theatrical run. So,
quick question. But when it becomes VOD, is it going to be $20?
I don't know, because it is a smaller movie, and I don't know if it's good. It might be like 15, maybe.
Because I want to see it, but I'm like, I could just go to the theater and see it for like $8 this weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pay.
I'd say it's worth a trip if you have nothing else to do and you want to just get out and see a fun little movie.
It's going to be pretty hot this weekend too, so I might.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I saw the Lego holiday special, or my too soon. Gotta save that.
Give us your teaser review for Friday.
Yeah.
No,
don't
I
say too
can't.
much. We'll talk about it on Friday. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I can't. I'll have to save it. I'm too soon. Am I too soon? I'm too soon. It's Lois Lois Lane, she's the key. Find us, Bruce. You were right about him. Fear him.
Wow, what did I just watch? And
Oh my
Nathan
God, he
has
left the stream.
room. Yeah, he went
Is he
too
gonna
deep
show up
into
in black and white and
I know.
singing Hallelujah?
Yeah.
God, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a cool trailer, but
Yeah.
it's just
trailer.
gone.
See,
he's gone
what's
again.
great?
No, how dare
what's
you
great
symbolize
about
the empty
this?
movie theaters?
No, what's great about this is like I had planned to just like be done, but then I forgot about I upscaled the entire fade effect, so I have to bring myself back. Here
There we go.
Oh, he's back.
I hope you guys liked this presentation of the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition.
It was beautiful. I loved it.
So anyway, what Hallelujah we're singing? All right.
Yeah, Carson was singing Hallelujah, saying how much he loves Zack Snyder.
Oh, sorry, my headphones are like not working. What'd you say?
Oh, wow.
Your Zack Snyder love, go on.
Yeah, we're just
No,
saying
my
you're the biggest
my
Zack Snyder
AirPods
fan.
died, and now I have these headphones that only work if I hold it in jack specifically, and only the right headphone works.
Oh my God.
Great preparation for the podcast.
Yeah. Well, you see, when you hit the
Alrighty.
2-hour mark, the AirPods.
I
die.
know. Yeah, let's close this out here, Nathan.
Yeah, okay, so I think that about wraps it up. But that being said, Carson, where can they find you?
You
you hear us?
find me sending fan mail to Joby Harold, specifically in weirdly addressed envelopes that are anonymous, so he doesn't know that it's us. Also, you can find me on Twitter at the Film Carson, watching all sorts of stuff. Can't wait to talk about Lego Holiday Special on Friday because we needed that wholesome goodness in the Star Wars universe after our year of coping. But yeah, great time on this
Continuous
episode.
coping.
Can't wait to see you guys on Friday.
Evan, where can they find you?
And Carson can't hear us anymore. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm with Carson, sending Joby Harold some great fan mail. I just realized Transformers are going to be coming out possibly in 2022, and so is Kenobi. So Joby Harold could have a good year in 2022.
He's coming for the Emmys. He's coming for the Oscars. Let's go.
Exactly.
The Oscars for Transformers? All right.
He's going to be the new Jon Favreau of Star Wars universe.
Back when we were working
Napoleon.
on King Arthur.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be great.
Can you imagine, like, they start getting into sword fighting, like,
No,
for
did I
the
t-
gallery?
Did I tell you he did a movie in like 2007 with like Hayden Christensen about like
Oh, yeah, you did.
where patients wake up during surgery
Yes.
and it's like
Yeah!
every year 2,000 patients wake up in the middle of surgery. What
Yeah,
will their
didn't-
fate be?
Didn't we watch the trailer for that or something? Yeah,
Yeah, I pulled a scene from YouTube and it's like Hayden Christensen like screaming at his body while it's on the table.
It looks pretty bad. But yeah, this weekend I might be going to see Mank at my local indie
Oh,
theater.
I'm doing that too. Yeah.
So I might go see Mank. So next week we could have an early Fincher review. I don't know if I should prep by seeing Citizen Kane or just a random Fincher movie because I'm feeling like in the
Ooh, I think
Fincher
you should watch
mood.
Citizen Kane.
I think I should watch Citizen Kane too. I don't know.
Wait, have you never seen Citizen Kane?
I have. I've seen it like
Okay,
once
okay.
before.
But at
I
what
liked it.
cost?
Then honestly, maybe a Fincher movie. I don't know. I feel like I kind of
Yeah.
want to watch like
Social
Girl in the
Network,
Dragon Tattoo randomly, or like Gone Girl or something.
Gone Girl. I love me a Gone Girl. So yeah.
Gone Girl's so good.
I'm feeling in the Fincher mood. Yeah, I might just go with the Fincher movie. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like on Friday. But yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty. Yeah, and you can also find me reviewing the holiday special on Hyperspace Hype this Friday. But also you can find me here on the channel. All my social media is linked in the description below. Follow me on Twitter at NathanRoss5, where I am begrudgingly using stories, even though they're not as fun on Twitter.
They are fleets.
But fleets, yes.
You know,
And
you can
making
report
by the way,
fleets. You can report
Yeah,
people's
I'm-
fleets, and so I was. Never mind.
You can?
to that
We'll talk
point,
Friday.
to that point on our Hyperspace Hype, if you think I'm not going to make a bunch of fleet jokes in regards to Star Wars
no.
content, you got another thing
Oh
coming.
no.
But yeah, there's not too much more to plug. Just chilling here, doing my reactions, watching Mando every Friday. I've been watching Teen Wolf that goes up Tuesday, Thursdays. I think on Monday I'm gonna start watching the Netflix series Julian the Phantoms because all my friends really love it. So that'll be a fun thing to get into. I really need to check out the Queen's Gambit, so I'm going to queue that up as well. So,
Do it.
Yes. So that being said, if you guys enjoyed our show, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if not already. That being said, I hope you have a great day, and may the force be with you always.